WROL broadcast. I am 8Mail, and with me today we have Loot,
Hey guys.
Kage,
Hello.
M4,
Hello.
Sheriff Lobo.
Hello,
There
everybody.
he is. All right, and we are doing our monthly tier list. Kage drank some coffee, so we won't be hearing yawns from him. You just had your breakfast, right? Kage?
Yes, I did. I just got out of the gym, and I'm high as a kite. You know, those endorphins do some wonders to you.
Nice. And we first need to congratulate M4 on a siege victory.
Dude, you won your first siege. Congratulations.
How many is this now? Fourth, wow.
I need 3 more to beat the goat.
Yeah.
Lobo.
Still
Lobo
not,
has, right?
still not Sheriff Lobo yet, but not the king.
Sheriff Lobo has 6.
Bro, you got to be like the goat and like get the 7th, ring.
Yeah, I know.
You came close,
I know,
Sheriff.
right?
You really did come close.
How many rings does Brady have? Like 8?
7.
Okay.
He just got a 7th, so Sheriff.
Yeah.
Sheriff needs to get one soon.
He's our Tom Brady.
Yes. It was nice to see Sheriff back at the top because he had taken it a little easy for a little while.
It is. It's invigorating to see that we get another epic fight, but at the same time, I wish he didn't. I would just cruise to the victory.
You were stressing on the last day.
No, that's not true. If that would have happened, you would have been like, this is so boring.
No, I don't care. I want Shiva shards.
All right,
But
well,
anyway,
let's
nice fight.
get this one rolling. First off, as always, let's start with the tune of the month. Kage, let's start with you this time.
I'm going to say Artemis for me.
Yeah, this month tougher than usual. She was very good. Sheriff Lobo, who would you say your tune of the month is?
I also voted for Artemis. I thought that this month they did a particularly good job of balancing the tunes because almost every bonus tune was countered by another bonus tune. And I recognized that, Shiva was probably important, but I didn't buy her earlier. But still, as a standalone, I liked Artemis better. She has ramp, stun, AoE, heal immunity. Her AoE does massive damage. And I think her self-purge of debuffs was really clutch this siege because there were so many stunners. And, she could just purge those right off. You could stun her and it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't make a difference. And the green bonus tunes weren't much of a threat to her. She was the biggest damage dealer. So I think it was Artemis.
All right, how about you, M4?
I have 2 votes. My real vote is Shiva because of Shiva I won. I bought my way to victory. There, I said it. I said as much to Lobo. Fastest purge and nuke, and couple that with a non-evading Harley, recipe for success. But the single tune that I brought to every match, the siege, is Artemis. And surprisingly, even at L5, well, not surprisingly, but she still holds up to RB5, Lexus, and Martian Manhunter. Just need to plan it right. She ramps up and she survives. So, and all the good things that Lobo already said. So, I think she's gonna be my token vote. Although Shiva is my real vote.
How about you, Loot?
I vote Shiva. She, for me, was tune of the month. I bought her early and used her in almost every single fight. I could say the exact same thing for Artemis, though. I did use her. I pretty much coupled the 2 of them together. However, Shiva sort of gave me an edge because then I can do her basic super early, and if I'm running Lex lead, which she paired really well with, then I get the heals and the turn meter, and the whole team gets going. So for me, it was Shiva.
I also agree with the Artemis take. I think she was by far my most used toon. My close second, I almost would have nominated him, but I didn't use him on every single team, and Artemis I did use on every single team, even against all green teams. But mine is RB5, so that does sometimes color my judgment. But after this siege and seeing everyone else, we definitely erred in judgment since Artemis was our first toon on the list. Across the board, we all voted her back to S tier. We got a little overzealous with the demotions, I think. And yeah, Artemis definitely deserves S tier. She may not quite be what Azriela is on defense, but I still like Artemis better on offense. I feel like she's such a rock solid toon all the way around. She does most of what you need. She erases every color, even greens at RB5, but she erases blues, weaker reds. I mean, she's just a very, very good character.
Yeah, I agree. I think I was opposed to downvoting her. I think I still voted her S the last time that we revisited. But, she's scary to face on defense. Like, you have got to, manage her, and you've got to control her. And, we'll talk a little bit more about Shiva later. But I think Artemis was still scarier on the enemy team than Shiva. You really had to... You couldn't stun her. I mean, you really had to make sure that she did not get going. And like you said, like, she was the biggest damage dealer, even to greens. She was more deadly to greens than Bleeze or Brainiac.
I definitely agree.
I want to add in, whenever my Brainiac was shielded, the enemy Artemis would throw out her AoE, and then my Brainiac would lose his shields, and I'm like, great, I can't use his, his 3 move now. So it hurt. Her AoE really hurt.
Yeah, I mean, even L5 Artemis would scare the crap out of me and would often get a kill. So it was definitely interesting. Moving on, Solomon Grundy. We will go ahead and start with the people who want to upgrade. And Kage, if you want to lead off on this one.
Yeah, I think Grundy really benefits from Rebirth, but he also would benefit from not having Enchantress or Brainiac as partners because they just clear off his Enrage. I've had Grundy come back from the dead, just one-shot some greens. So other than that, on defense, I would play him, and he would be, or not with defense, on Revenges. On Revenge, he would just soak up damage like I needed him to, and he would just take a beating from like maybe an all green team, or like maybe if they didn't have like a purge to like get past his taunt and crit immunity, so my whole team could do their thing.
I'll go next. I voted to keep him a B just because I did not see, like, I used him a lot at the beginning, and I was kind of leaning like, oh man, Grundy's a lot better than I thought. And then I started losing him regularly. Artemis just cleaved him down too often, and I kind of fell back a little bit on him, especially once, what's her name? Shiva started showing up. Then I had a lot of trouble keeping him alive. So I don't know. I still kind of leave him a B. But I also, for some reason, just blue taunters in general, like Donna Troy, have really disappointed me lately with the heavy-hitting reds. I can't seem to keep him alive real easily, so I struggled upvoting him. But I do think I actually can keep him alive a little easier than even RB5 Donna Troy, so maybe that is worth an A, but I'm going to keep my vote a B. How about you, Luke?
I'm keeping him a B. Every time I use him, he died. I'm thinking that if mine was Rebirth, like some of the other owls on our team, I probably would have a different opinion, but mine didn't like, he was squishy. I couldn't keep him alive, and therefore I just stopped using him. So B is all the best I would go for me.
M4?
I voted him an A because, one, he's the only blue at L5 that can take a hit from all of my RB5 reds. He is a really good protector and good punisher of greens. The only reason you guys kind of don't like him in the sieges because of the special, not special damage, but the heal immunity he reads. Artemis is a poor matchup for him. But even then, Artemis cannot kill him out of the gates. Not Shiva, not Booster Gold, not Batwoman. So he's really a good protector. So I think just by that merit alone, he deserves an A.
And Sheriff Lobo, if you want to wrap up.
Yeah, I think that the bonus toon list did the most damage to Grundy because, Artemis super high damage, special damage, and heal immunity. So I think she's the worst red for Grundy. And also, Brainiac really limited his usefulness because that retaliation can just wipe people out, and Brainiac protected against that. So I think Grundy was the most, he was the most useless because of the counters in the bonus list. But he's really become key for me in managing Black Flash without Black Flash. So you put, Grundy, and he can soak up 2 turns of damage from the enemy team, and then, he retaliates, and you put other retaliators like, Azrael or Wonder Girl behind Grundy, and, you can deal with Black Flash without having to use Black Flash. He's a massive tank, so I think he's pretty good.
All right. That will move him back up to an A. And up next we have Bleeze. We'll start with UM4.
Early on, I thought she was gonna be a great siege toon. 2-turn death immunity, can taunt every turn. But I am so disappointed. I know I voted a B for her because there's a lot of things she can do for a fun rate comp, especially when Harley Quinn gets fixed. So there's a lot going on within rages, stuns. But as a good tool in your arsenal, I don't think she's a great one. She's just a fun toon. I'm actually flip-flopping between a B and a C for Bleeze. I gave a B because she's maybe the hottest toon in the game right now.
How about you, Kage?
She's definitely S tier in terms of her design. Like,
I can't argue with that.
yeah, holy moly, they got the succubus thing down right. As far as kit goes, her kit was okay for me in Siege, where kind of similar to Lobo when he used Grundy to soak up hits against like Black Flash. The only purge toon was Shiva, and I guess Vixen, but nobody was really running them. So I thought Bleeze had a nice, taunting wise, she's decent. You can make some fun teams with her, but I think I'm going to go back down to a C for her. She's not very useful right now. There's very limited things you can do with Enrage at the moment. And her kit is kind of all over the place for that. Like, why do you need True Sight, if you already have like a targeted 2-turn Enrage on your AoE? So,
All right. How about you, Sheriff Lobo? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was super disappointed. I was really excited about the idea of a taunt on your basic move, but she just can't survive that death immunity. Too easy to purge off. Her damage is not scary. Even her big hit on her 3 when an enemy is enraged. That's not a guaranteed red killer. She was useful in some comps, but she just died too easily to Lex and everybody else. Not even guaranteed protection against a red team. So I think she's a C.
And you, Luke.
I don't. Honestly, she's borderline C and trash. She's like right in the middle. She does a little bit right, and she does a lot wrong. I like the fact that her basic makes her taunt, right? Like, that's cool. It triggers Lex, which is also very nice. But the problem is she has no survivability. So she uses her basic. She's got nothing to protect her. And then the next turn, she's flat. She's just dead. There's not much there. Like, she doesn't survive. And her bread and butter is that basic to get the taunt. And it just doesn't work properly. Her kit truly is all over the place. That enrage is weird. And the big hit with the enrage, it's not a big hit. Like, it's just weird. It's nice that at the very beginning of the fight, they gave her death immunity. But after those fall off, she's just toast.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like her at all. I was really, I didn't want to be excited for another green that has a ridiculously gated stun, but I like the character and I like the design, so I was wanting to like her. And she's kind of survivable. I was pretty excited when I saw her at L1, but then then I also made the mistake of wailing on her and realized I'll probably never use her again after the siege. So, I mean, she's good for basically one turn, and then maybe 2 turns. Then she kind of falls off. The boy probably is screaming right now, but his is going to be RB5, and I could see where she's going to be pretty darn tanky at RB5, but she doesn't really bring anything else to the table. Like, the rest of her moves are almost worthless. Like, there's no reason to use anything but her basic. So, for that reason, I don't like her either. I think we're being almost a little generous at C, giving her a C, so C she is. And let's start with a more positive one, Lady Shiva, for you.
I love Shiva. She's pretty awesome. Her basic purges, which is great. She's super fast, right? She gets that. She's even faster than Black Flash, which is awesome because she totally counters Black Flash. She hits through awareness. Her 2 is ultra strong. It has the heal immunity. It does, right? It has heal immunity.
Yeah.
And when you get a kill with it, it resets so you can use it again on the next target. The only thing that I wasn't too psyched about is that in order to like really benefit from that leopard blow or whatever it's called, her 2, you're really going to want to rebirth her so that she can, if she doesn't crit, she'll still get a kill. If she crits, the toon's dead. If she doesn't, at L5, she's going to have a tougher time. So I'm going to take her all the way to RB5, and I'm going to use her as a direct counter so that I can hit through those shields. The other cool thing is her AoE, and I thought at first, like, well, it's only one toon that she can take the shields off, and I would have liked for it to have been the whole team, but it is very effective, and she gains a 20% shield, which is super helpful. So I loved her. I think she's awesome.
Sheriff Lobo, your thoughts?
I think she's an A. Maybe I didn't play with her enough, but it seems like very limited circumstances where she could be S tier if there's no taunter, and if you need to get through awareness. She's super fast, which means that you can't get around a taunter if she's there. In a lot of ways, I feel like she is very similar to Batwoman. I think she has the same strengths and weaknesses. You know, like I think the invisibility and awareness are comparable, but to me, invisibility is kind of harder to get around. You can, get rid of awareness, but you have to bring true sight to get around invisibility. She hits through awareness, and she maybe has the hand up here, but Batwoman's retaliation takes awareness off of the damage dealers. She's got that massive damage move on her first turn out of the gate that cools down. Batwoman has the same thing, but here she might have the hand up because if she takes somebody out, she immediately, takes somebody else out or uses the thing again. So, I think she's A. I don't think she was super scary to face or deal with. I felt like Artemis was scarier, which is why I would put Artemis as a S and Shiva as a A.
I'll go next before we let M4 make his S tier case. I came close to S tier voting after playing with her a ton the past 2 days. I didn't think I'd like her that much, to be honest with you, and I was very surprised at how much I like her, even at L5. If Black flashes L5, you don't always get the kill, but I can put Cheetah over her, and then she always kills Black Flash up to RB1. The only problem is that if there is a taunter, you do have to you go first, and a lot of times I keep seeing stupid Hal Jordan, um, Power Girl, Azrael teams, and when you use Shiva, that's a recipe for disaster because you're just gonna you can take the taunt away from, but then Azrael gets going, and that can be a pain. So there's some instances where her speed's actually a detriment to her, but overall, she's such a good character, and I would say a very high A character, if not S tier. And I think we might even, I wouldn't be surprised if she gets bumped up next month. But I could be wrong. We'll see. But either way, very, very good toon, well worth investing in. M4, what is your case for S tier?
I'm gonna say now you're wrong, she says. Yeah. Well, for one, she doesn't suffer the same problems as Batwoman. Batwoman is still the best if there's an unprotected blue. One of her weaknesses is indeed taunters, but the good thing is, even if someone is taunting, she can purge it off and opens up the team for your teammates. And then, so the speed is not an issue. The other thing that's good about her is, and her effect on the meta. So I've been hearing this a lot that, oh, she's broken. She's going to make the speed meta worse. And I hard disagree. The reason I disagree is because you don't have to counter the same toons just to match their speed. So if you're facing a Martian Manhunter, I don't need to bring Martian Manhunter or Cheetah, which is what happens now. Even if I face a Black Flash, I don't need to bring my own Black Flash as long as I have Shiva. I have been using Shiva with Red Hood, with Emerald Archer, Steppenwolf, any leader that has not seen play in a long time, you can now use them. And then also, even if you're facing a Shiva on the other side under Martian Manhunter, they can go first, it doesn't matter. She doesn't break the game because there's ways to counter her, unlike Azrael, where just, one wrong move and it's over. And then what else does she have? Oh, okay. So on that awareness, she gains it a lot faster than Batwoman. So there, I've showcased her on my stream that she can 1v2, who was it? Arcus and Martian Manhunter. They can't hurt her because she's so fast that she can just stack those awarenesses and then purge them off the enemy, and then they remove shields. So she's just destroyed. So is that broken? No, her teammates still die. It's just that it could be the difference between losing a match and salvaging a 1-star victory. And that remove shields is also clutch for dealing with Hal Jordan 1-on-1. So, and I think all of the good things in her kit you already guys mentioned. So that's my case for her being S tier. Breaker of the speed meta.
And Kage, you didn't have her geared, correct?
I have her geared. I've actually been playing with her a lot.
Oh, you didn't have a score in on her for some reason, so I didn't know what.
Yeah, I left off my vote because I still am undecided.
Okay.
I can see all of M4's thoughts, and she does. What I've seen is that she will help proc Steppenwolf, right? Give him the turn meter, and then you can use Steppenwolf's 2 to bring your team up to speed against a Martian Manhunter or Cheetah team. And so I think that's pretty cool. You can use her with Emerald Archer, and her crits will bring turn meter down on the other team, and your team will go next. So she does a lot for the different comp varieties, but like Lobo mentioned, there's still a lot of circumstances that really limit her utility. So I'm still trying to decide between A and S. So she's somewhere in between. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. All right, well, that puts her currently with the scores at an A, and she might be one that gets revisited later, depending on how useful she ends up turning into.
A month from now, quote me. I'm going to say, I told you so.
I'm not completely disagreeing with you there, so we'll see. It's still early. All right, and next up is Vixen, who don't think there's going to be much change in her score, but she was, I'll start with this one. She was pretty useful. I think I'd vote her a C personally, just because I think she's a little too situational. I like her against Superman. I like her against Arceus at times. So she's very good against some problem characters. But her turn meter move is if that move was more guaranteed, it'd be fantastic. And I used it and got lucky a few times, and then I was once in occasional times where I used it on Artemis and it didn't work, and then she broke free and murdered everybody. So I just don't like her. I feel like her gates are a little too strong to make her be extremely viable character. If they just up those percentages just by a teeny bit, I think she'd be a fantastic character. But I don't know. I didn't quite feel her. I liked her a few times. I'm okay with her staying a B, but my personal vote is a C. How about you, Sheriff Lobo?
I mean, everything that you mentioned, I had in my notes to talk about, so I really don't need to talk about. But I feel like that because of how useful she can be at dealing with certain problems, I think that makes her a B instead of a C.
M4.
If you're short on resources, she's a good toon to invest in because she solves a lot of problems. However, she's not the best solution to all of those problems. You want a stunner, you get it 75% of the time. You want turn meter down and evasion down, yeah, I think it's 50%, and then just 3 evasion downs. And then if you want to purge someone like Arceus and put buff immunity, well, tough luck. 50% of the time you're good. Otherwise, your team will get murdered. So she's okay, usable, but so unreliable.
How about you, Kage?
There are times where I'm like, oh my God, she's awesome. And there are other times where I'm like, I wish you just increased your percentages. There are times where like, I wanted to put buff mini on Arceus and Arceus just broke free. Or I wanted to turn meter down someone like Artemis and she just broke free and murdered everyone. So I don't know. Between, she's either really good or she's really bad. I have to say she's in between, and I think that puts her at a C.
You had B, so you're going to say C.
Oh, sorry, B. I meant B. Sorry.
Okay. All right, Loot. And you have her as a C as well.
I really don't have a lot to add. I just don't think she's very good. I don't think she's a very good leader. She really didn't do anything for me in this siege, and every time I used her, she was killed by Artemis. So that's that.
All right. Well, she stayed a B based on the scores. Moving on to Enchantress, who I will start off in this one. I surprised myself at how much I'm liking her. I do hate that it's 75%, though I kind of understand damage immunity is such a powerful buff. So I'm not having as big of a problem with it. We still don't know with 100% certainty if her overheal is bugged. If that gets fixed, that might even bump her up to an A. But I don't know, she's a pretty solid character, and I enjoy using her. I think she's a solid B. I even like her out of lead more than actually I think I do in lead most of the time. So I think she's a fun character. She can fill a niche that we don't really have in a lot of cases with heal toons outside of Lex. So I don't know. I find her pretty fun. I like her. Sheriff Lobo, you have her as a C, so let's hear your thoughts first.
I hate her kind of kit, her in Harley's, because you can't count on it for yourself, but the percentage is so high enough that it's like seems like 100% for the enemy team with that damage immunity. So it's super annoying. It never procs for you, but 100% procs for the enemy team. So she's really inconsistent. She seems to have potential. I think her heal should be more. Maybe it should be. Who knows? But that's my feelings about it.
How about you, Mr. Loot? Oh, you didn't want to vote on the reworks because of the bugs.
That's correct. I'm not voting on Enchantress or Harley.
All right, Kage, what do you think? I know you kind of like her.
Yeah, I like her a lot. She was really good on defense. Or I'm sorry. It was what's the word? Revenge. She's good on revenge because
Yeah,
you
agree with that.
your damage immunity lets you get away with like doing whatever while Black Flash and Martian Manhunter are doing their thing. So I think if they up the percentage on the damage immunity, it should be pretty busted. So other than that, I think her kit is really fun. I like using her. She kind of makes you second guess. Like if you see a Enchantress Azrael team, do you bring Cersei or do you bring Red Robin and Arcus? So, I mean, you kind of have to guess at what's going to happen, and I think I like that surprise aspect of her kit, where you just don't know, you just can't predict. And I know for Siege, Sweat Lords, you guys like to have everything down to a science, but I like a little bit of guessing game here and there that breaks the monotony of the game.
M4?
Yeah, you nailed it, Kage and Sheriff. I didn't use her much in Siege because of that 30% that you're gonna get screwed. Because I like to plan what's gonna happen. But facing her is super annoying. Super annoying. If I didn't have Shiva, it would have been a lot different. But I think she is bugged. I think what's happening to her heal is the remnant of her old kit, where she has a weakened version of that vitality, whatever that skill is called. And I think that's what's happening. If she gets back to her old healing levels, I think she might arguably an A tier too. She's fun, and she might be good. She might be able to get some play outside of Lex and Martian Manhunter. Might be even a good counter to Azrael.
I don't know about Azrael because he just gets rid of it and then kills her on the next turn. But
Buys you a turn though.
all right, so that puts her at a B. Moving on, Harley Quinn. This character is extremely bugged. It looks like most of us are still voting just based on if she had her evasions working properly, which hopefully will be fixed soon. Kage, let's start with you. You voted an A. I think that's what we had her before. She didn't really change a whole heck of a lot, but
She didn't change, period. So whatever change she got made her a little bit more annoying. Like my
hits
Holly
harder.
yeah, I mean, what the hell? So I don't know. Still an A. Probably broken S, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think when her evasions are fixed, she might end up in S tier. I hate Harley Quinn. I hate facing her more than any other character. And because she forces you to just bring boring tunes to deal with her. And then now with the other super hyper crazy tunes that you got to deal with, when she starts evading again, she's going to be ultra annoying. And her basic, man, that does so much damage now. So much damage. Sheriff Lobo, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I agree. Like the AoE seems to do more damage. I think the like enraging the entire team instead of just a random character is so annoying. It's super powerful. It just it can really put you at a disadvantage or an advantage if you're using her, but it usually doesn't work out that way. So if she's working right, she seems like you guys said, probably a strong A.
She's, gosh, she's going to be annoying. And before you put her at trash tier?
Yeah, she's trash because she's broken.
Yeah.
And I'm voting as I see her now. She's complete utter garbage. But when she gets her kit fixed, she might be an S tier. The AoE Enrage, use her with like Saint Walker or Mr. Freeze. That would put your team in the big advantage and her beefed up damage. So yeah, I think she's gonna be an S. But right now, don't use her. She's trash.
And Loot didn't vote because
I
of the
voted
votes.
no vote.
Yeah.
Right now, she truly is trash. Like, completely useless.
I don't know. She still does a
But
lot of damage. I used her a couple times in Siege when it was all blue. She was still potent.
yeah, I don't know. She's trash right now. We can re-review her next month.
Yeah, I think both of those characters, if assuming they're fixed, which we would hope so by the end of next month. Um, move on to Brainiac. We'll kind of start whipping through these a little quicker because we only have 3 left, so I guess it doesn't matter. I actually think I'd bump him to S tier. Low S tier, but I think S tier. He's becoming more and more required because there's just so many counterattack tunes. And with Harley Quinn, especially when Harley Quinn's fixed, she's going to be everywhere. And he's the only character you can slot out of lead to protect against Enrage. And boosts the speed. He's got a good stun. He's pretty survivable. I took him to RB4. I really wanted to take him to RB5, but they never did a sale for him, which stinks. So, but overall, I mean, I think he's kind of borderline SA, but I don't think I personally would vote him S. Loot, let's go with you next.
I think he's a solid A. I don't think I would vote S, but A, yes, definitely. He does a lot of things right. I feel like if they were to give him a rework, I think he's a little bit dated on his stats. And I think that's probably the only thing that's keeping me from making him an S tier is that his stats are not up to par with the tunes that are released now. So that's the only reason why I'm keeping him an A and not an S is because he needs a rework to benefit from, just some of the way the game's changing.
But would you give him more damage or more health?
I'd give him more health.
I'd actually be fine with either. He could go either way for me.
Is he special damage or physical? What's his
Physical.
deal? He's physical? Okay.
He's got the same gear set as, I think, Red Robin.
Yeah, I think he's physical support.
Kage, what are your thoughts?
I do think if he was updated, he would be, significantly better.
I don't like how he started the Terminator arms race, that fed into Martian Manhunter and now Cheetah. But
Yeah.
he's still a strong kid. It just depends on how the meta shapes out and how prevalent Azrael and Harley will become. So I'll put him as A for now. We'll see if the meta changes and he becomes S tier with... I can potentially see Coda and Azrael becoming part of the new meta.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Those kits just dropped. I don't even know if the rest of you guys have even a chance to look at them, but it's possible. All the counterattacks. We seem to get more and more of them. M4, what are your thoughts?
I was on the fence whether he's an A or an S this month, and I decided on an A, and I'm going to say the things that he can't do, because you already mentioned the things that he does well. Compared to the other two good clean leader, or the S tier ones, he doesn't ramp up, so his damage is stagnant. That's it. He doesn't hit hard, and he can't hit any harder. His assist is not guaranteed. There's not even a gate, just flat out. You just need to get lucky, and I don't like that. And he doesn't have the survivability of a Martian hunter in the Lex. So compared to those two leaders, he is definitely a step down. And so if he's not that great of a leader outside of protecting your team from counterattack, so what's good for him, the 15% turn meter outside of fleet might be the differentiating factor. But if Shiva didn't come out, I might have voted an S, but Shiva just kind of enables the other leaders to compensate for the 15%. Like one of the combos Kage mentioned with Steppenwolf. So that's why I'm keeping him as an A.
All right. He is remaining an A. I can't argue with that. I kind of think he's borderline. Medfill looks like somebody added to the list. I still vote B, but I see it looks like everybody else wants to bump him up to an A, so we'll start with you, Lute.
I'm not too sure why he's being reviewed, to be quite honest.
I don't know. People see he's
I don't. What was he before?
a B.
A B? I don't know. To be totally fair, I haven't really used him in a while. But the last time I used him, I mean, he does a lot of things right. So I don't know. I'd go with an A. It's fine.
I can answer why he's here.
Okay.
So when I was doing
why is he here?
So when I was
thought
doing the
Doombox.
rankings,
I thought that was Doombox
No,
that did that.
no, I don't think he has access to the sheet. I added him because when I was ranking dudes and I was going through the B tiers that doesn't belong, I saw Solomon Grundy, Medfill. It's like, yeah, everyone says like he's an A, and I was like looking at it. He is an A. He's not quite S tier because Flex and Martian Manhunter exist, but outside of those two green leaders, he's really not that bad. He has the strength down, speed down. You can just neuter someone and just completely takes them out of the game. And then he has damage immunity. Mens. There's so much going for his kid. I mean, he's a really great dude. So I think he deserves the A.
Kage, I know you like Medfill quite a bit.
Not that I like him, but Shiva opens up the game opportunities for Medfill, and you can kind of build more teams around Medfill now. Black Flash and Medfill are pretty oppressive. So I think
That's a good
really
point.
changed. I think what really changed for him was that there are new characters that really open up his viability. You can use Impulse and Medfill, and you'd be really annoying with him too. So, and then his 10 strength downs really help with neutering Azrael for at least 2 turns.
Yeah, Azrael
So-
and Arcus.
Yeah. So he's good there. If you use him with like Donna Troy, you can cycle off taunts and be really annoying that way as well. So
Actually, you're making me think Medfill, Shiva, and Donna Troy could be pretty annoying.
yeah, super annoying. I actually fought that last night, and I was like, dude, come on. So it's a lethal combo. I don't want to leak it, but it's a thing.
Sheriff Lobo, any comments on Medfill?
Yeah, I think he's underrated. I mean, for everything that Kage said, and also, sometimes in red alerts, I'll be playing through red alerts and lose Lex and be like, damn, what am I going to do now? And then I'll slot in Medfill and carry through the rest of the level. So, I think he is probably underrated a bit.
Yeah, maybe I do need to use him more. I'm willing to concede that, especially now with the new toys to play with. I just haven't used them in ages. Next character is a character I've used a lot lately, is Spectre. Sheriff Lobo, we had him as a C before. I see you moved him up to a B. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I underrated him for a long time. Also, I think he was a slow gear for me for a while, so I didn't play much with him. But he ramps up good. He has heal immunity. He has that guaranteed purge that's not tied to a damage move, so that's awesome. I wish his stun was a little bit more consistent.
If his stun was 100%, I would RB5 him right now.
Yeah, and hitting under shields is really good and valuable these days. I found myself pulling him out of the dusty old roster more and more recently.
M4.
Yeah, he's also another one of those severely underrated. So I brought him up. Even showcase him, see how he is, because everyone looked at him before like an inferior Etrigan, because his int-ups are not guaranteed. But I find it at 60% to be proccing a lot. He gains those int-ups like crazy, and he hits really hard. And he can also help you against Harleys and Azraels. So I think he's a very good toon to have on your arsenal.
And if you're those of you that haven't checked it out yet, be sure to check out M4's nightly Twitch. He starts around 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. You do every night, right? Or do you take off a little
Every
bit?
night that there's a siege.
Okay. But you are doing tonight, which...
Well, I'm not, because
Oh,
the reverse didn't drop.
oh,
So,
never mind.
okay.
Well, and then by the time they hear this podcast, because it won't come out for like 5 days, I guess it doesn't matter. But be sure to check out his Twitch stream. It's twitch.tv/M4. Wait, yeah, M4Y15.
Yes,
Yes.
you got it.
Okay, got it. And it's in the show notes. I deleted all of
stream
our...
I'd stream on Twitch if I didn't have if I had a laptop. Shit.
You need to sell some of your Dogecoin and get a laptop.
Man, I'm too broke for Dogecoin.
I don't think so. I think you get one. But yeah, so I took off the rest of the Twitch stream since none of us else have streamed in eons, and I honestly don't know if I'll return to it ever. So we'll just let everybody funnel to M4 so he can keep making that bank. Luke, you didn't vote on Spectre? No opinion?
I can't vote on Spectre because I haven't used Spectre in a long time.
Kage, I'll let you go, and then I'll wrap up with him, and then we'll wrap the show up.
Yeah, I think he's been pretty underrated. Zubaz was always a proponent of him. I think he's more useful now that we have Harley Azrael combos, so that non-damaging purge is useful. And then there's also Artemis that came in, and Grog that really came in to really help showcase him.
I really like Spectre. I've been using him a lot. I really desperately need more Rebirth Blues because I only have 2. And man, I wish that stun was 100%. If it was, I would instantly RB5 him. Granted, I don't have the shards, so it's kind of a moot point, but I like him more and more and more, and I think he's one of those characters at RB5 he'd be pretty solid. But anyway, we will wrap this episode up. We should have this... We'll probably start getting on a little bit better show schedule release. I know last month we were a little light, but between the glitches and everything else, it's been a rough month for episode releases. But hopefully this month, we should be a little better off. I will be possibly taking some time out of town, so I'll have internet through the whole thing, but recording episodes is near impossible, so I'm not sure if I'll get around to that. But we will see. But anyway, thanks for listening, everyone. Until next time.